Hey, this is Shane Greer, co-owner and co-publisher of Campaigns and Election, back for another Campaign Insider, this time with Juliet Albin of Warchest. But first, before anything else, thank you to our sponsor, as always, Probolsky Research for opinion research on politics and public policy. Juliet, Warchest recently walked away with two Campaign Tech awards from our Campaign Tech East conference, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's actually through the awards and actually our Read Awards where we kind of first heard about Warchest, and interesting idea. Summarize for me what it is you guys do and the problem that you were seeking to solve when Warchest was created.
Yeah, sure. Happy to. And of course, I want to thank the judges for Campaign Tech East for selecting us for two great awards. But in a nutshell, Warchest is the first application of its kind. So it was created by former campaign operatives, myself, Josh Wolf, and Connor Johnston. And we created a web-based application for campaign managers to track and manage their budget and cash flow in real time. And the reason why we knew this was a problem, because being former campaign operatives ourselves, while we were on the campaign trail, we experienced firsthand the rigidness and inaccuracies that came with managing millions of dollars on a spreadsheet. And we knew based on our own experiences that this is something that we had to change. Again, working in a post-Citizens United electoral politics, when there's so much volatility, money coming in, money going out at unprecedented rates, we knew that this was a tool that would be useful for organizations and campaigns up and down the ballot.
And what's striking to me about it is there's this kind of broader problem, and I think it's fair to describe it as a problem in the campaign space, and certainly C&E, we've talked about it a lot, which is there's so much that happens in spreadsheets that should never happen in spreadsheets.
Right.
It should happen in a limited way. And that's not, we're not just talking about like actual campaign budgeting here. It's everything from, sensitive donor data or voter data that's being emailed back and forth between people inside and outside the campaign.
Right.
And so what's interesting to me here is like, what you guys in some senses are trying to do is remove some of that friction, because of course with the spreadsheet world, it's very easy to make mistakes. It doesn't take much for somebody else to make a mistake in your file, and you're in trouble. How much of this in the commercial world or the business kind of space, folks are used to using things like QuickBooks and so on to kind of automate that process. How much of this is that kind of thing for campaigns, right? Where it's money coming in, expected money going out, and getting a sense of, whether you're in trouble or not.
Right. Warchest really provides you with all of the flaws that you just mentioned that you would get out of a typical spreadsheet. We have solved with Warchest. Number one thing that I heard you mention there was the security issue. And I have said this thousands of times, but a campaign's budget is their playbook to victory. It literally lays out step for step what they're planning to do and when they're planning to do it. Yeah. And we also know, again, as former operatives, that is highly sensitive information. So number one, I'm not going to go into the specifics for security reasons, but having all of a campaign's playbook in a secure area where they're able to not just keep that for themselves, but they can add users. So if they want to add consultants or even the candidate, they're able to add users to their Warchest. You can export various reports from the dashboard and email it to your team. It's no longer sending 100 different versions of your budget through email, which, as we experienced in 2016, is also not secure. And we're providing a level of collaboration that is really unprecedented and safe. Additionally, we created something that we've dubbed the multi-campaign view. So for a lot of the caucuses that we've worked with and committees and different organizations, they're also working with tons of different races. And what we've allowed them to do is have a single Warchest account for themselves that they can then flip back and forth and see all of the campaigns they're working with in one place. And it also just created a level of consistency, no matter what race you are, where you're working, that they're able to open it and know right away, okay, I know what numbers I'm looking at right now. It's no matter of knowing where is this formula connecting to, why am I getting that error message in this spreadsheet. it's as easy as it just being there.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will mention that we've also provided with these organizations kind of looking in is that they can tell right away if something doesn't look right. If they need to talk to the manager and say, hey, where's this?
Mm-hmm.
They're able to see that right away as well. The efficiency, the problem solving is really just presented top line in Warchest.
So one question, and then this isn't just the case, say, with I think a product like yours, right? I think we see this across the board. With technology, some people are really receptive to new tools. Some people are not. And one of the challenges, regardless of what kind of, if you're a business implementing Salesforce, or you're a campaign implementing some new platform, getting your users to use the platform. It's one thing to pay for it, it's another thing to use it. How do you address that challenge? One, folks who are reluctant to do something differently, and goodness knows that, like, that's not how I do it, is one of the big problems in the campaigns. But then also actually getting organizational buy-in, because it's only by using a platform that an organization is really going to see the benefit of it. So how do you address those twin challenges?
I'd say our team is a bit different in the sense that we were operatives before we were entrepreneurs. And one thing in the conversations that we have with managers and folks like yourself is that in the past, I think we had seen individuals from Silicon Valley trying to come into politics and solve something. And I have nothing against Silicon Valley, but we are such a unique industry that you have to really know what it's like to be in it. And because we're former operatives and we built those relationships before doing Warchest, it really helped make the transition. We already had that level of trust with them. And I'm not going to say it was easy, because it wasn't, right? I will say out of the process, you learn who your friends are and who's going to help you and who's not. But I will say for us, having that solid foundation of a political campaign network really helped us.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that I've spoken with individuals who told me, don't waste your time, don't do this. And I believed in it. Josh and Connor, we all believed in it. And we knew that if this was a need, and we had enough people tell us that they knew it was a good idea to go through with it. But kind of entering in was just, our first biggest race was working with John Ossoff.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it just became a word of mouth as a tool that made campaign managers' life easier. And we know campaign managers' lives are not that easy. And in 2017, we worked with the Virginia House of Delegates during their historic election in 2017. And that was really a litmus test to us as well, because those managers are early in their career. So we knew that they didn't have to experience a spreadsheet with budgeting. They had Warchest for their first time ever. Yeah. And after the success of that election alone, we saw managers keep coming back to us as they went off and worked on congressionals. Mm-hmm. And it was really just this perfect timing in terms of who's getting on board when, and also I think our network. The other thing that I also want to mention and kind of give a hat tip to the Democratic Party in general is I think that the party kind of realized this innovation gap within electoral politics. And we really entered and came into this cycle at a really good time when people were innovating and when campaigns themselves wanted more. We should have been asking for more for a while, but I'm fortunate and glad that we did when we did. But I also just think that we're seeing this huge investment towards technology and giving folks on the ground the foundation they need, that we're starting to see that type of investment pay off.
Well, listen, Juliet Albin of Warchest, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you for joining us for another Campaign Insider, sponsored as always by Probolsky Research for opinion research on politics and public policy. You can check out our other videos on the CNE Facebook page and, of course, at campaignselections.com on the video page. But again, Juliet, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you as well.